Hello, and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. Last time I was talking about botany and plants and wanting to spend a little time looking at that limb of the plant world. And so I've decided to do a few videos, starting with sharing some things that might be of interest to share with younger children, and working up to things that would be beyond their understanding. And I'll start with Mary Azarian. I showed you a book of her woodcut prints that she made for Snowflake Bentley. And we'll get back to the cold as well. But this is a gardener's alphabet. And I really like this book. And by choosing a gardener's alphabet, she has given herself a reasonably wide scope of words she can choose from, like harvest or insects. And so I highly suggest that this would be a book that would fascinate young people, because there are some words in there that are unusual, and types of gardening, for example. I showed you maybe this book that she did, A Farmer's Alphabet. In this, her first book after graduating with an arts degree, and specializing in woodblock printing, she got a job teaching in northern Vermont. And when she went into the classroom and looked around, it looked so bleak. There were no pictures on the wall, and so right away she set to work to make an alphabet to put up in this one-room elementary school. And from that, she modified it and refined it and developed it, and finally the Vermont Board of Education commissioned Azarian to create 26 letters of the alphabet and illustrations depicting scenes little scholars find familiar. Well, that's what she's done in this book, and it was where one thing, her initial alphabet, led to provincial-wide distributing of her alphabet to small schools, and to the publication of this book that anybody can have. And I remember getting several copies of it. I just thought it was cat's meow. And I took two of those copies apart very carefully with an X-Acto knife, and had the pages, and the place we were renting at the time had a wall for putting your coats and things, and the other wall in the hallway, I put up this whole alphabet on the wall. You need two copies to do that. And no, you only need one copy to do that. And so I remember sometimes late at night, one of our children would be sort of needing a cuddle and some special. We'd walk around, we'd go to the alphabet, and we'd look at that and talk about the various scenes. Here's another alphabet book done by another person who is a woodcut specialist. Her name is Bonnie Christensen, and she's defined her alphabet to be edible plants, and narrows the range of words that she might use. And she's put a couple of pages in the back on the edible plants, a little bit on each one that she used. I was one I didn't know, and X, of course, gives everybody troubles, and U was a hard one. But here's what the U is. U-L-U. Ula? Ulu? Is the Hawaiian name for grape breadfruit, a large, round, green tropical fruit. Breadfruit grows on large trees and tastes like bread when it's baked. So that reminded me of Pitcairn's Allen. One thing leads to another. That in that story that we looked at of the mutiny on the Bounty, Fletcher Christian led those that were disgruntled about going back to sea. They had spent 5 months waiting to harvest, for the right time to harvest those breadfruit from the breadfruit trees. And many of the men got to thinking, boys, I could live here forever. Temperature's good, people are friendly, breadfruit to eat. And so their disgruntlement led to a mutiny, and after putting Captain Bligh in a longboat, they sailed back to Tahiti. And those mutineers who wanted to stay there did. Those that wanted to go with Fletcher Christian to find an island that was uninhabited and set up their own place chose to go with him. So 8 mutineers, 6 Tahitian men, 11 Tahitian women went with him then to search for an island, and they settled on Pitcairn Island. Now, that reminds me of a wonderful chapter devoted to that in Collapse, How Societies Choose to Fail or Succeed by Jared Diamond. And this is a fascinating book. He covers all kinds of areas and places and times. And Chapter 3, The Last People Alive, Pitcairn and Henderson Islands. Pitcairn before the Bounty, 3 dissimilar islands, trade, the movie's ending, the movie about this. He also wrote a great essay about Australia, which we are going to get back to. And eating the alphabet. I showed this to you in one of the first few videos, and because I thought it was such a neat alphabet by Lois Alert. There's a book about trees that I showed, and this one about vegetables I think I mentioned as well. A to Z. So again, it has to be something you can eat. And again, certain letters, hard to find. X was a hard one. And U was a hard one. Q, there's only one. But for the letter P, she has 7 fruits, and she has 5 vegetables that start with the letter P. And we'll look at the pumpkin in the next video. And so it's, I think I wanted just to share this, how colorful this was. And if you missed it before, the suggestion of having, this is where you have to have 2 books so that you can show the front and back of each page. And I put it up around the classroom, and pretty bold and strong. Here's another bold book she did, growing vegetable soup. I thought, what a great idea, you know, growing vegetable soup. Some purpose to growing. Well, if we grow this and this and this, then we can have vegetable soup. And again, it's boldly colored, and you know, we're planting the seeds, and in some cases they're planting the sprouts, like for pepper or tomatoes or broccoli, and so on. And in the back, a recipe for vegetable soup. Of course, you can create your own stock that you want to use in that. Now, she wrote a book called Waiting for Wings, and I like this book because it's goes into a larger aspect of the butterflies. They have eggs to lay, and certain butterflies lay eggs on different plants, and when they hatch, then they will feed on that plant in particular. I mean, we know the monarch butterfly only feeds on, the caterpillar only feeds on a particular plant, the milkweed. And some plants will have attract many caterpillars to them. The oak is one in particular. Our oak tree has just gone through this part of the cycle where there's all of these strands down with little caterpillars at the bottom hanging from the tree like little ornaments all over. And when they finally reach the ground, and you got all the birds hopping about to take those caterpillars to feed their young. And you just have to marvel at how the two go hand in hand. The birds nesting and hatching of the babies timed with the caterpillars. And the Flower Alphabet book by Jerry Piloto, I think probably the better pronunciation. I wanted to show you one thing in this. It's called K for kangaroo paw. These flowers resemble the hands of kangaroos. Some other flowers with silly names are lion's ear, goat's beard, elephant heads, and pig squeak. They've chosen plants from a wide variety of places. K, the kangaroo paw, is a state flower of Western Australia, which, as I say, we'll be going back to. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.